Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 6th of October 2023. In today's newspaper analysis, we are going to cover an important mapping topic and then we are going to cover the important articles from the Hindu newspaper. So let us quickly see the list of articles that we are going to cover today, right? So these are list of those articles that we are going to discuss today, okay? So with this, let us start the discussion with the mapping topic. So today we are going to look into the maps of those lakes that are in Africa, okay? So lakes in Africa we are going to discuss. So as we know that one of the largest lake in Africa is Lake Victoria, okay? So Lake Victoria is located here. So this is Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria shares, let's say, its borders with multiple countries. One of the countries Kenya, other is Tanzania, and then we have Uganda, okay? So these are the three countries with which Lake Victoria has border. Apart from this, there are many other renowned lakes that are there in Africa. One of the lake is known as Lake Tanganyika, okay? Lake Tanganyika is also a very famous lake in Africa. So this is the location of Lake Tanganyika. Apart from this, we have Lake Malawi, okay? Lake Malawi is also a very important lake in Africa. Apart from this, we have, let's say, this lake which is known as Lake Turkana. It's also one of the important lakes. Then we have Lake Albert, Lake Kyoga, and then we have Lake Kivu. Okay, so these are the lakes that are there in Africa. Then we have, let's say, Lake Mauriu, and then we have Lake Bangwelu. Okay, so these are some of the lakes in Africa, and then Lake Kariba is sometimes in news. Okay. So we wanted to see the location of these lakes. However, you also need to give an importance to like where these lakes are located in Africa, like, you know, within which country. So for that, I have included a parallel map with you. In this map, we have the names of these lakes, and along with the lakes, we also have the name of these countries. Here also name of countries are mentioned, but they are in faded format. But here we have name of those countries. In your free time, you can go through both the maps together and you can, let's say, like, you know, cross verify these maps, right? And apart from this, we have the complete map of Africa. This is the political map of Africa. It showcases all those countries that are part of Africa, okay? So recently in Africa, there were many countries that have been in news. For example, Libya was in news, Morocco was in news, then we have like Ethiopia was in news, then we have Niger was in news, right? So many countries from Africa were in news. You need to locate these countries also, and you need to see with how many countries these countries share border, okay? Again, this particular map showcases some of the important lakes in Africa. The lakes that we have just located, like Lake Victoria, Lake Edward, Lake Tanganyika, etc. Okay? So having understood this, we have also included some description of these lakes, okay? These lakes and their description have been included over here. You can read about Lake Victoria, Lake Tanganyika, Lake Malawi, right? All these important lakes and their little description is included. You can go through them in your free time. Then apart from this, we have another topic. We are going to look into this topic. It says, Norway's John Fosse wins Nobel for literature, okay? So Nobel Prize for Literature has been awarded to this person, right? His name is Mr. John Fosse. So he is a Norwegian person. He belongs to Norway, okay? He has been awarded Nobel Prize for Literature. And let us see like which literatures he has worked on. So in this article, they have mentioned about the literatures on which Mr. Fosse has worked, okay? Mr. John Fosse has worked. So it says, Norway's John Fosse, 64, whose plays are among the most widely staged of any contemporary playwright in the world, won the Nobel Prize in Literature, okay? They have won the Nobel Prize in Literature. So this person has, let's say, written many things, and one of the thing is known as Boat House, okay? One of the important work of this person is Boat House, okay? Boat House is one of the important work. Then he has also worked on Melancholy 1 and 2, okay? He has worked on Melancholy Koli 1 and 2. Okay, he has worked on them. And apart from this, he has done many other works that are most famous, right? So his literary works are most famous. It is, let's say, being read by people from across the world. Okay, so across the world, people read his, let's say, like books that he has written. So we need to remember his name, John Fosse. He has been awarded Nobel Prize for Literature. That's the thing. So with this, we came to another topic. This topic is important from art and culture perspective. So in this article, they have discussed about an important place which is known as Bekal Fort. Okay, Bekal Fort. So when we talk about Bekal Fort, right, where is it located? It is located in Kasargod. Okay, it is located in Kasargod. And this is in the state of Kerala. Okay, this is located in Kerala. And this fort, I mean, like around this fort, they have created a caravan park. They have created a caravan park. And this park, through this park, actually, they want to generate revenue. The state government wants to generate revenue. And especially, they have dedicated this park for filmmaking. And in this particular fort, many people have already made films, right? They have, let's say, shooted their important scenes. And in this article, they have mentioned about those, let's say, movies also. Now, apart from this particular location, which is Bekal Fort, they are also developing, okay? So, they are developing, let's say, Ponmudi in Thiruvananthapuram and Bolgatti place in Kochi. So, these are the places that are in the making. The Kerala government wants to promote tourism in the state of Kerala. They want to promote tourism for multiple purposes, and this is one of the purpose. The caravan park has been created around this Bekal Fort. Okay, so that's why this fort has been in news. So having understood this, now let us quickly move to another topic. This topic is important. This topic is related to Indian polity. It says national unity, a three-dimensional view. Okay, it says national unity, a three-dimensional view. Okay, so let us understand about this topic. So in this article, the author has talked about that how to integrate the nation together. And for that, the author has given a three-dimensional view. Three-dimensional view means in one of the dimension, right? The first dimension, in the first dimension, the author has talked about unity within various caste groups. Okay, unity among caste groups. Okay, among caste groups in Hinduism or among Hindus, okay, in Hinduism. So this is the first dimension. So author has talked about there should be unity among different caste groups, and this has been the this has been one of the cornerstones. This has been one of the important thing during the freedom movement as well. So Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, Mr. Gandhi, like he supported the idea of unity within the Hindu religion, unity among various caste groups in Hinduism. Apart from this, the second dimension, okay, if I talk about the second dimension, so in the second dimension, they have talked about that, like, Hindu-Muslim unity. They have discussed about like there should be Hindu-Muslim unity. And Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, was in favor of Hindu-Muslim unity, and he has done a great work. He has, let's say, tried to bring together, right, the Hindus and Muslims. Okay, so he was he has done a relentless pursuit to bring these two different religious groups together in India. So like this is also mentioned in this article. And the third dimension that has been talked in this article, the third dimension is right? Third dimension is regional integration, okay? Integration between various regions, okay? Regional integration, okay? Third dimension is regional integration. That's the thing. So this is the third dimension. First dimension we have talked about, let's say unity between different caste groups. Second, unity between Hindus and Muslims, means like unity between different religious communities. And third is unity among different regions in the world, like in India. So in this article they have talked about what was the viewpoint of Mahatma Gandhi. In this article they have also discussed about like what was the idea of B.R. Ambedkar, how B.R. Ambedkar led to the, let's say, inclusion of this particular thing, unity among caste groups in the Constitution of India. Hindu-Muslim unity, or let's say religious freedom, they have included in the Constitution of India, and regional integration or unity between different regions. So that has also seen its expression in the Constitution of India. So the author has said that we have seen these kind of unity ideas, right? These ideas have been seen during the freedom struggle, and after then also in the Constitution we have seen their expression. But what is happening today? If we talk about the political parties that are ruling, for example, in this article, they have taken the name of BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party. So they have discussed that Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP has, let's say, like, ignored the idea of Hindu-Muslim unity. They have ignored the idea of unity among different caste groups, because in this article they have talked about that, like, BJP is doing very less to, let's say, like, unify people from different religions or people from different caste groups. So they are playing on a vote bank of the majority support. So they are, let's say, focusing on the heartland. Okay, so like, let's say this is India. So they are focusing on the heartland, and they are trying to, let's say, garner votes from the let's say, people from the Hindu religion itself. Okay, so they promote one specific idea. So in this article the author has said that India's national unity, okay, they have discussed India's national unity can be viewed as a three-dimensional construct, one of caste, religions and regions. BJP has turned into a unidimensional pursuit of Hindu consolidation in the heartland. Okay, so this is what the author has talked about. So having understood this article, let us quickly move to another article. It says diffusing the ticking time bomb called diabetes. So this article has been written by, right, a doctor, I would say, right? So this person has talked about how we can get rid of diabetes. And for that we should understand what are the causes of diabetes. So the author has discussed about that the main cause of diabetes is unhealthy food that people are consuming. People are consuming food that are full of sugar content, and also people are not focusing on doing exercise. So consumption of sugar content and, let's say, less exercise leads to diabetic patients. And in this article the author has talked about that, like, a study that was conducted by Madras Diabetes Research Foundation in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research and the Union Health Ministry. They have revealed 11.4% of India's population, or 10.13 crore people, are living with diabetes, and 15.3% population of, or an additional 13.6 crore people are pre-diabetic. So around 11.4% of population, or more than 10 crore people, are diabetic, and let's say 13.6 crore people in India are pre-diabetic. The reason is that, like, we are consuming unhealthy food, and this unhealthy food consumption is not chosen by the consumers itself. It is, let's say, an idea that is being promoted by those companies that are selling food items, and they are investing crores of rupees, they are spending crores of rupees in advertisement and promotion of these foods, right? They advertise and promote these foods. That's why the consumers are purchasing these foods, and they are eating unhealthy foods on a regular basis. And since we are eating unhealthy foods on a regular basis, it has led to increased or higher risk of type 2 diabetes. Okay, it has led to higher risk of type 2 diabetes. Okay, so this is the thing. And in this article the author has talked about that what the government can do. What the government can do. So author said the government can bring legal safeguards. Okay, government can safeguard people from the manipulative strategies of food industry through a legal framework or even an ordinance under Article 123 of the Constitution of India. So author says that government of India can place some kind of limitation on these food industry, these companies that are doing advertisement of unhealthy food. So author has suggested that the government can make it mandatory for these companies to label the food items as healthy or unhealthy. If we start labeling these food items, these packaged pre-processed food items, then consumer will get aware, so awareness will be generated. Once awareness is generated, so consumers will be able to practice a healthy diet lifestyle. Okay, this is the thing. So the author has also given the examples of government of South Africa, Norway and Mexico, and they have taken similar actions. Okay, so the government of India can show its strength to regulate food labeling and marketing. Such a law will be clear demonstration of the will of the government. The Infant Milk Substitutes, Feeding Bottles and Infant Food Act flattened the growth of commercial baby food. Okay, so they have discussed that in the case of infant food, so government of India has already taken a step. Similar step is needed for other kind of food items that are being sold by these companies that are operating under the food industry. So the author says only a legal framework or an ordinance with the objective of reducing or halting the consumption of ultra processed foods can safeguard people from strategies of the food industry. Okay, so this article has been written good. This article shares us a viewpoint how we can have healthy food in the market as well. So with this we have another topic. It says equality and identity. Okay, it says equitable distribution of resources must not be accentuating caste identity. So when we talk about equitable distribution of resources, it means the resources that are available in India, they should be, let's say, distributed equitably among different groups, different classes in the society, so that we can reduce the barrier of haves and have-nots. Means there are many people in India who are ultra rich, and at the same time there are people who are at the grassroots level who cannot even afford a healthy diet for themselves. So we need to bridge the gap, right? And to bridge the gap, we need the data related to socio-economic and caste census. We need the caste census, and that's why the author has talked about that recently the Bihar government has released, the Bihar government has released caste-wise count of its population. Okay, they have released caste-wise count of its population and is quite immense. Okay, so the thing is, they have said this, the survey that was released by Bihar government, this survey has, let's say, created a dominant group in the Bihar. Dominant group in the sense they are more in number, but they are not more in resources. For example, the extremely backward classes and the other backward classes, these two categories together constitute 63% of the population in the state of Bihar. Since the government of Bihar has a caste-based census, they have a caste-based survey. So the government of Bihar will be able to come up with such plans that are going to benefit, these caste groups. Okay, they are going to benefit these caste groups. That's the thing. Okay, so in this article we have mentioned, the author has discussed about the importance of having caste-based survey. So they said there was a 50% legal ceiling on total reservation in education and government services. However, since this caste survey data is available, the government of Bihar may think of giving some extra government benefits or welfare measures to cover these caste, let's say these caste groups, extremely backward classes and other backward classes. And the author has also talked about that the government of India has conducted a socio-economic and caste census in the year of 2011. And since we have conducted the socio-economic and caste census in 2011, however, the data was not released in public. Why? Because when people were asked what is your caste, people have given so many different varieties of answers. I mean, some people have mentioned about religion, some people have mentioned about caste, subgroup, etc. So it has led to 46 lakh of different caste groups and that has become a very cumbersome data, so that's why it was not released in public by the government. So that's why the author says that the caste census is important. We need to conduct caste based survey, and that's going to help us to identify which groups need more more kind of what we say reservation from the government. And the author has also said that although the country wants to eradicate the caste hierarchy, but the thing is data is important. Why data is important? So that different caste groups can be provided benefit, and slowly and gradually the country can be made more equitable in terms of resource, access to resources. Then we have another topic. It says inspiring colors. Chemistry Nobel Prize goes to trio that made artificial atoms. Okay, so in this article the author has talked about the Nobel Prize in chemistry. So Nobel Prize in chemistry has been awarded to 3 persons or 3 people, right, together, and these 3 people have worked on carbon dots. Okay, they have worked on carbon dots. So what are carbon dots? Carbon dots are some element of very small size that has around few carbon, they have few electrons in them. Okay, few electrons in them, and these carbon dots are so small in size that they have few thousands of atom. However, if you talk about a small water droplets, okay, if you talk about a small water droplet, this small water droplet has sextillion of atoms, means it will be having around 10 raised to power 21 atoms. Okay, it will be having 10 raised to power 21 atoms. Okay, it will be having 10 raised to power 21 atoms. That's the thing. So this is what the author has discussed about. Okay, so this is the thing. In this article the author has praised that the scientists who have worked right in carbon dots, so they are understanding a new field, and similarly other scientists who have worked in various other fields who have been awarded Nobel Prize, be it Nobel Prize in physics or be it Nobel Prize in medicine. So these people have also explored a new dimension, a new area of technology that's going to be beneficial for the future generations to come. That's going to be beneficial for future. So that's why the author has talked about this, and author has also named these scientists who have been awarded Nobel Prize in chemistry. So name of these scientists is Alexei Ekimov. Then we have Dr. Bruce, okay, and then we have Maungi Bawendi. So these are 3 people who have been together awarded the Nobel Prize in chemistry. So having understood this, now let us understand about another topic. This topic is again important. It says no country for old women, right? So in this article they have talked about the status of elderly in India, means what percentage of the total population is elderly, and in future what proportion of the elderly people will constitute out of total population. So presently in India around 10% of the population are of elderly. By 2050, right? By 2050 we will be having 20.8% of people who are going to be elderly, means they will be above the age of 60 years. Okay, they will be above the age of 60 years. Now it has been scientifically studied that women outlive men, means more number of elderly women will be there as compared to men, because men, the life expectancy of women is more as compared to men. So the thing is, when life expectancy of women is more as compared to men, so these women, I mean who are going to support these women? So how many people will be dependent on the working age population? So these statistics has been discussed in this article. Although I hope it is visible to you, you can download this PDF and go through, let's say the graphs that are given. So the first graph talks about graying India, means how many percentage of people are elderly, right, in India. The second talks about dependency by region. I mean northeast, central, east, north, overall, west, south, means like number of elderly per 100 working age, okay, per 100 working age people how many percentage are elderly. So overall it is 15.7%, means let's say 100 people are working, 15 to 16% of them 15 to 16 of them, let's say like out of 100 working age population, 15 to 16 are elderly people. Then we have sex ratio among elderly, okay. So they have discussed like in different regions in India, what is the sex ratio, I mean like what is the number of women elderly as compared to men elderly, that has been given. Then working status, right, how many of them have worked, how many elderly women have ever worked in their life, worked in the, let's say, formal sector. Formal means where they get a salary, okay. So they say 47% of share of women who never worked in the past, okay. So there are 47% of women, they have never worked in the past. And then 35% of elderly women who experience difficulty using toilet, okay. So means like it talks about, the graph talks about, let's say like what is the proportion of elderly people and how many elderly people will be dependent on the working age population, and how let's say like among the elderly also men are more aware of the government schemes for elderly, women are less aware of them, okay. Some women who are aware, right, so they hardly get any benefit under the government schemes. So in this article they have discussed about some of the government schemes. One of the scheme is Indira Gandhi National Old Age Pension Scheme. Second is Indira Gandhi National Widow Pension Scheme. Then we have Annapurna scheme. These are schemes that elderly can avail in India, okay. So you can go through this article to understand little more on this, right, because you need to go through the statistics, okay. Then we have another topic. This talks about the internet freedom, the freedom of expression, the freedom that we have over the cyberspace, over the internet space. So in this article they say India expanding censorship regime, creating uneven playing field, okay. So India is expanding censorship regime. So in this article they have talked about that there is an organization, it is known as Freedom House. The Freedom House is a Washington based non-profit organization. The global internet freedom has declined for the 13th consecutive year, okay. So global internet freedom has declined, right, from last 13 years regularly. And in this article they have said that like India is resorting to AI enabled digital repression, okay. It finds the environment for human rights online has deteriorated in 29 countries, okay. Online human rights has gone down in 29 countries. And in this article they have also mentioned about like the total score of different countries. For example, if I talk about Iceland, total score is 94, UK 79, Germany 77, US 76, and if we talk about India, India has 50, it is partly free, okay. If I talk about Pakistan, it is not free, 26, okay. So this is the thing. So in this article they have discussed about, let's say, what is the internet freedom in India. So India is a partly free country in that respect. Then we have another article, it says Shah calls for uniform anti-terrorism structure under NIA in all states, okay. Mr. Amit Shah is the Home Minister of India, and he has talked about, right, he has talked about that we need a uniform anti-terrorism structure across different states in India, right, and that who are going to be under the purview of national investigation agencies, okay. So he was speaking on a 2-day anti-terror conference that was organized by National Investigation Agency, and during that conference he has discussed about that we need to have a uniform structure of anti-terrorist organizations across all states in India, right. You can go through it. So the Home Minister has said that since their government came into power, right, so they have successfully let's say dealt with challenges that are posed by cryptocurrency, hawala, terror funding, organized crime syndicates, and narco terror links, okay. That's the thing. So with this, we have another, that's all for the day. Thank you so much everyone for attending today's discussion. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you.